It's James Tavernier. He makes the. Hello. Welcome
Stop
to
the
episode
recording.
50 Welcome to episode 59 of 3 Pints and a Clean Sheet. We'll do the players and choose first, and then I can get into my convo. How are you,
Go
Kyle?
south.
I'm fine, seeing somebody tried to cut me off. I feel good, yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. I thought I'd come to you first this week. Greg, change of scenery.
Yes, I'm excited on the back of a Queen's win that I've seen in person. It's been a while.
I had a great weekend for once. Usually they both let me down.
You still didn't win the predictions. Spoiler alert.
I'm not far off you, so I wouldn't be too cocky. No, obviously. On Saturday, yes, me and Greg were present at Palmerston for a 3-1 win over Edinburgh City.
Youths. Edinburgh City under 18s, more accurately. Plus Liam Fontaine.
It wasn't the most convincing performance ever, but I'll take a 3-1. We'll come to that.
Fair, that's the type of game though that like Queens would usually lose.
Yeah.
It was also awful conditions for football. It was blowing a gale. It was nice to see Queens go a bit more direct.
Yeah, I think that's what we needed in the game. So
yeah,
changing his approach to games these days.
Good. And we're going this Saturday, and you'll see it on the socials.
Yeah,
we're going to Stirling of Albion.
Keep an eye on it. We didn't post last week, but we will this week.
Q&A maybe again.
Yeah, on the train up, if that's what people like. You'll be seeing this obviously before we go, so keep us updated with what you want. The Q&A was a hit last time we did a Saturday away day.
Yeah, so here we go. 3 in a row. Wins for Queens, that is.
We'll see about that. I don't want to get too cocky. But obviously, yes, yesterday, I mean, the game wasn't very good to watch.
It was
the celebrations at the end were, I was just very happy and relieved.
Over by then.
I mean, I was shouting at my telly at one point. Well, I say one point, the whole game pretty much.
When are you not?
True.
Last night fan didn't even go to Hampden. Not a real Rangers fan.
You source the tickets and I'll go. Because they're very hard to get a hold of, even get your hands on, is what I was going to say.
Even though Rangers filled out most of the stadium.
Didn't see you at the Carabao Cup final last year. Didn't see you at the Carabao Cup final.
You'll see me at this one coming.
Who are you supporting now?
Newcastle might be knocked out by the time this goes out, actually, because the quarter-final is Wednesday night? One of them.
You tell me. Yeah, I think, two of us predicted Rangers were going to win, as much as he didn't want to admit it. I think the other person did, but wanted to try and get points if it went to extra time.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
But Rangers 1-0 win was kind of what you'd expect.
If you looked at before the game, it was written all over it, I would say.
If you looked at just the game, the game in general is pretty much exactly what you'd expected from that game. Meaty tackles, a goal from Tavernier of all people. Rangers not really creating a ton. Is it fair to say?
Better team on the day, though.
Better team, but I don't think they had a massive chances.
I don't care anyone. I thought they had a lot of shots from what I've seen.
Shots, but were they actually good chances?
I would say so.
We won.
Yeah. Dessers almost turned into Prime Messi again, and remembered he was Cyril Dessers. I
was glad because that was exactly a carbon copy. Run up, puts the player on his arse, gets it, and then this time he just hits it straight at the keeper. Roos had a good game. He had a good game. He pulled up quite a lot of good saves.
Really good player.
Yeah.
Lucky for Aberdeen.
I
think it was a case of when.
Yeah, that confused me as well. I did wonder why he came on after. I have to say, I thought Sima was excellent. It was really good. That's what we need. It's just the kind of got a bit of power, speed. That's what you want. Tell you who else had a good game? Dujon Sterling.
Man of the match.
In the midfield. And I thought Lundstrom was great again. It's nice to see him get the confidence back up. Just commands that midfield. I mean, to be fair, I think the one he was booked for probably wasn't even as bad as the first one. Was the first one alright? I can't remember. There was one he made that it was probably more deserving of a yellow than the one that actually got booked for.
He was a lucky boy to stay in the park, actually. There's one that didn't get much made of at the time, but there's one where it is a Rangers free kick, and then the Aberdeen player doesn't give him the ball back, or the Aberdeen player goes down and Lindstrom does step on him. And if anyone sees that, he's on a booker. It's an incredibly silly thing for Lindstrom to do, but there wasn't much made of it at the time. There was obviously the Stramash at the end, for which numerous people were booked as well.
It was hard to tell. The boys down, I can't remember, was it Duke?
Yeah, I'm sure
And
it
then
was, because they claimed Butland took him down.
Was it? Yeah. No, I think it was the other way around. But Balogun kind of leans over and says something, and then there's a big hoo-ha.
Scuffle.
Yes.
McCausland as well, getting a how you run the games.
Played well.
Yeah, and he looks good. He looks like something that Rangers. I was watching this with the Rangers friends of ours, and Rangers. It was commented that McCausland was making runs into the box to get on the end of things that Ryan Kent just wouldn't be doing.
Yeah. I think he does more in the background. He's got a bit of. Thing is, he's only going to get better with games, and there was a few. There was a great chance at the back post where I think it was just a bit of positioning wise he headed it wide, but
that's the exact chance I mean. That exact chance is one where it was actually said, well, actually, if it was Ryan Kent playing, Ryan Kent would even have been in the box to get on the end of that.
Yeah. So give him a bit of time and he's probably slotting them away. I think he's going to be a really valuable asset for Rangers, if not make them a lot of money.
Yeah, the other comment I was going to ask you about, Robert, was the other thing that was raised to me was about how much Rangers miss Morelos. There's a few chances in there where the ball comes out to people and they're just, they're on their heels, they're not on their toes.
Morelos is lamping that first time.
Well, Morelos is, I think there's one particular chance from a corner where Ruth saves it and then it Goldson at the far post or Dessers at the far post, and he just doesn't gamble. If he gambles when the shot's taken, it's a tap-in.
Well, if it's Goldson, fair enough because it's a centre back, but if it's Dessers, then fair enough, yeah. Strikers should have a bit more instinct, but I think there was a chance early on that was unlucky that just happened to fall to Balogun that he puts over.
Yes.
But overall, Rangers were definitely the better team. We deserved it. Good finish from Tav. Bails us out as usual. Wasn't a penalty before anyone adds, so yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't, which makes a change. So I had Kyle, I don't know if you know the number for this. James Tavernier is going to score 115 goals for Rangers or something like that. I was questioning, so we were asked at the time, and I've since done the research, so I know the number. Out of that, do you know how many of the 115 were penalties? Because I know the number, and it's different from what I thought it was.
41.
Robert, do you know?
Unsure.
60.
Half his goals.
Over half. And then you've got free kicks to add on that as well, so it's nice to see one from open play from Tavernier.
No, because he never scores them from open play either.
I mean, records suggest he scores less than half of them from non-penalties, and he scores a fair amount of free kicks. I would say that.
He's a right back, though.
Right. So it was nice to see him get on the end of open play. It was nice to see him play in a system where he could get in the box at the far post and get on the end of it something.
Well, very good finish nonetheless. I'll leave your lure hanging in the distance.
It wasn't a lure. It was a point of interest.
I thought Butland. It was nice to see him at the end get interviewed, and he has been absolutely solid for us. Great, but I think best signing so far. Was
a long stretch.
Recently, yeah.
Him or Sima, I would say, is the only two options.
Sima alone.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was a bit sceptical about Sima the first few games, but I said it the other day when we were watching it. Well, the other day as in yesterday. This is Monday we're recording this. He proved me wrong. I think he's been excellent recently.
But the change of managers maybe helped that too.
Oh yeah.
Changing how they're being played.
Looks like Sima's got a bit more space to play.
Yeah.
Play that way, it seems, but
also after a particularly excellent result in Europe on Thursday night. When did we record this? Wednesday?
Yeah.
I think so.
I can't remember last week. So yeah, it was good to see all the Scottish sides winning last year and for the coefficient last week. For the coefficient. Yeah, last year.
I can tell you for a fact, Rangers did not win last year in Europe.
Well, we got the Europa League final the year before that, so I'll take that.
It's it was very nice to see all of them not going through, winning. But it was.
There's only Rangers going through, so
it is, and they're not even playing in the next round as well. They've came first in their group.
Thank God for that. I see
I
Spar.
did say that. Only a Scottish team would fail to beat the bottom ranked side in the group twice and still win the group.
Yeah, we dropped 4 points to Aris Limassol and still top the group.
5, no?
4. Oh, we lost away and drew it.
Yes, you dropped 5 points. You got 1 out of 6.
Yeah, I said they got 4. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, you're correct. My terminology was incorrect, but however, the point remains we topped the group. So I see that Sparta got Galatasaray. That obviously would have been who, if we were in that slot. But no, I'll take it straight into the round of 16, which is great.
Did Betis get? I don't have the draw in front of me. I'm pretty sure it was Sturm Graz. Is that
I didn't
right?
even check. I can tell you though.
It's team of
In
Max
the Conference
Johnston, sure.
League. It wasn't Sturm Graz. It was Dinamo Zagreb.
They're 2 tough ties for both teams, to be fair.
Yeah, not an easy place to go. Yeah, you're right about Sparta. It's good for us. So again, for those of you who don't follow Scotland's Coefficient on Twitter, if you don't, give them a follow. The Czech Republic are our main contenders for that second automatic for that automatic Champions League place for 10th place in the coefficient rankings. Czech Republic are our main contender. They still have 3 teams left in Europe, so the quicker that some of them get knocked out, the better. Our chances are obviously one of them is Victoria Pilsen, and then Sparta and Slavia Prague.
Oh, right.
I didn't realise that Slavia were still in it.
Is it Slavia Prague? It must be Slavia Prague.
I can't tell his badges. I mean, he's up Mars.
I don't know if Slavia's still in it. I can't see Slavia.
Does that know them? No, never mind. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yes, so Sparta finished second in their Europa League group. Slavia won the Europa League group, which is why you don't see them.
No, that makes no sense.
They won a group containing Roma, Servette, and Sheriff.
Can't wait to draw them again.
Well, that's the thing. But if we do draw the Czech Cup, we really do need to beat them.
And join out as now we.
We as in Scottish clubs, yes.
We as in the only Scottish club left in it.
Victoria Pilsen also won their Conference League group with a perfect 18 points out of 18, including Dinamo Zagreb.
Not a bad result, actually.
It's not bad at all. And, you know, that's the fact that Aberdeen and Celtic actually contributed. Aberdeen, I think, lots of people have said this, they've been a good amount of money off this European run. It's now about for them getting up the table and getting back into a slot where they can challenge next year, because they've got a wee bit of money from which they can do that. And they looked pretty good.
2-0 against Frankfurt's not something to turn your nose up at.
It's not, but they looked good and pretty much. They scored in every game.
Yeah, definitely did better than I would have assumed. And they were unlucky considering they were not 2-0 up against. I can't remember who it was. Remember the
Helsinki? Was it Pauk?
Yeah.
They were also Pauk.
Anyway, I think I agree with the point you're making in that they didn't have a bad campaign overall.
Especially when they thought they were going to get whitewashed by them all, pretty much.
It proves that actually, if we get into the group stage, we've got a chance of competing.
Yeah.
You know, Hibs were just very unlucky with who they drew.
They beat Villa, didn't they, in the first game? No? Yes, maybe. Can't mind.
Did you watch it?
They got absolutely destroyed at Easter Road.
Was it second? One of the games that were quite close. Maybe I could be wrong.
I don't think they were. There's not very much similar scores in both games.
I couldn't tell you.
I thought it was like 6-0 and then 3-1.
Sorry, it was 8-0 in aggregate. It was 3-0 away and 5-0 at Easter Road.
3-0 no bad.
I gave them a goal.
I knew they didn't score.
Who was the run before? I can't mind.
They beat someone Swiss, I want to say.
That's a little bit.
Lucerne or something. No,
yeah, it was Lucerne.
Yeah, right. They had a good performance, but they didn't.
Well.
Yes.
Yeah, well, in terms of what I was going to say is obviously Rangers in good spirits with obviously Thursday night and then Sunday there. And then obviously on Saturday, Celtic drop points.
Yes, which is the next thing we've got to go on to. Celtic lose at home for the first time in over 1,000 days. So was it 1,058 days, I read? So over 3 years. First time Celtic lost at home. And they still want the manager to get sacked. 2 bad results now and they want the manager sacked. And they won in Europe. Through the league. They need to pick what they want. Do they want to win in Europe, or do they want to beat Hearts?
Well, they're already out of Europe, so
Just be Rangers, do both.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, I think
Rangers
it's a bit
wouldn't
early.
have won a game in the Champions League.
no.
We should also say that Celtic didn't get a particularly nice group, I don't think. There was a lot worse groups they could have been in. Like Celtic fans who have turned around and went, we got more points than Newcastle and Man United. Well, if Celtic were in the Newcastle group, Celtic would have conceded at least 20 goals.
Your audio went a bit there, but you kind of pulled it back halfway through the sentence.
Yeah, like Celtic thinking that they would have stood a chance in the Newcastle group or the Man United group, because Galatasaray and Copenhagen are clearly difficult opposition.
I think they've done better in that group than Man U did.
Do you?
Yeah. Man U were hopeless. IMO.
Celtic relied on a added time winner against when the group was over as well. They were already out. What's important for Celtic is how much money that gets them.
Whether they've invested or not, they've had the money for a few years now, and they seem to be declining. Hopefully,
invested it badly.
Yeah, it seems that way anyway. What does that mean for the league, though? Obviously, Rangers 2 games in hand, so a bit of work still needs done before the big Old Firm that's coming up on the 30th.
Yes. Next time.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a day of derbies. It's obviously the Old Firm at 12:30, and then it is the mighty Queen of the South versus Annan derby. What are we going for? The Solway derby?
Was that the name derby?
The Dumfries derby? The Downham derby?
Queensway Annan.
The Willie Gibson derby?
Oh. Dick Gibson derby?
The Tommy Goss derby?
Yeah, true. The Aidan Smith derby?
Complete as appropriate. How many do you want to name? The
People
Scott
like.
Hooper derby? Did he not play for them at one point?
We'll give it all this hype and it'll still be a 1-0 Queens.
No.
Nah, we'll see. It'll either be 1-0 Queens or it'll be like a 5-5 draw. Nah, we'll see about that one.
Well, we'll see how it goes. You're right, it's a day of derbies. The Old Firm will be very interesting to see if Rangers are top of the league by then, how much Rangers go for it.
Well,
it's the best opportunity we've had in a while, in that it's there for us. So my thing is, though, Celtic were there for the taking in the last Old Firm, yet Celtic still won 1-0. So that I think they're going to have to get over that kind of mental block.
They have to also win their games in hand, which should be it's Ross County and St Johnstone, which should be easy, but you never know.
Yeah, I did make a point of that before we were discussing earlier on before we started recording. It's a case of you can't be complacent at this stage.
Rangers also have played a lot of games recently with Europe. They've played Thursday, Sunday. They've had League Cup final. They've had League Cup semi-final. They've got 2 games in hand now. And those 2 games, Rangers have a long injury list.
Yeah, I'd stick Clement up front. Like, I think he'd do a job.
Slappy.
Like one John Lindstrom red card, and things kind of go very badly for Rangers because they're lacking midfielders.
Yes, like we said, Sterling did a good job, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm not too sure when the rest, because Cantwell obviously played, but didn't play particularly well. I think he's been playing more out wide anyway. But
Cifuentes will be back.
I
don't know if it was one game for Cifuentes or multiple.
Hopefully multiple. I think it was violent conduct, so it will be multiple. I'm not a big Cifuentes fan.
No,
it's just doesn't seem to be in the game very much.
You don't think he'll come good?
Maybe he might prove me wrong, but currently, I think it'll be interesting. What do you think, Kyle?
Well, I don't know. There's a couple on it.
Old Firm.
That sums up Kyle's attitude to this podcast. What do you think, Kyle? What were you on about?
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. Like, Rangers should just go for it. But
yes.
History for not doing that. So depends how the games in hand go, I guess.
Yeah.
It'll be a big tell.
Rangers would move 4 points
Sorry.
clear, is that right? If they beat Celtic in the Old Firm and win both games in hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 points
I
by
believe
the
so.
2 games in hand. 4 points clear is a good margin.
Considering the margin in October, it was looking a bit.
It was 9 or something.
Well, look at it this way: you can draw 2 Old Firms.
Yeah.
Don't want to though.
You don't want to, but that is that margin. You can actually
Oh,
afford
that's
to
it.
lose the next Old Firm and still be ahead.
Yeah. Well, the comments have been made about Scottish football. Greg, I'll let you take this because I've never actually seen it. You added it to the list, and I was quite interested.
One of Rangers is games hands against Ross County, and Derek Adams, who returned for his 3rd spell at Ross County after the 1-0 loss against Dundee on Saturday, said that the standard of the Scottish Premiership was shocking, and that the team he left in League Two was 10 times better than the Scottish Premiership. He said the standard was shocking. Yeah, the standard was honestly terrible. Dundee went out to win the game and got them with a late sucker punch. And to be fair, right, to back him up, there weren't a ton of goals in the Scottish Premiership the weekend.
Yeah, but so.
I mean,
It's a bit rich coming from someone who's managing in the Scottish Premiership.
The results at the Scottish Premiership games, right? There were 5 Scottish Premiership games on Saturday.
Yeah.
There were 4 goals across the 5 games. 2 of them were at Celtic Park for Hearts. There was 2 0-0s, and then there was a 1-0 win for Dundee and a 1-0 win for St Johnstone.
When he's talking though, Ross County are top of the league and undefeated. Why?
It's just better because they got beat.
Yeah, get around them. That's what I say.
Yeah,
This in
like
every league.
the standard, like it is fair though, like because someone did say this as well, and I think we should have a chat about this. I know we'll go to predictions in a bit, right? Scottish Premiership games this weekend, right, are Celtic Livy, and then Dundee Aberdeen, Hearts St Mirren, Kilmarnock St Johnstone, Ross County Hibs. Now, I know we are going to from one of those games, but apart from perhaps Celtic Livingston, there's not a clear favourite in any of the other games.
That's better, surely, that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So I really don't get, like, the standard, like, yes, there's not been a ton of goals. Yes, the league maybe is a wee bit defensive, but outside the top 2, the league is very competitive.
It's entertaining still. And
It's
more
'cause
so,
there's only so
England's
little
always the
teams.
same teams over and over again. They just kind of jump up and down. And I mean, look at the Premier League, for example. Apart from a few teams who've kind of fluctuated in and out of maybe the top half of the table, it's always the same teams. I'd say Scottish football's had more of a shift. I know, obviously, traditionally your old firms and your the likes of Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibs, but you've seen a few teams have good runs, and there's a lot more movement within the Scottish leagues. I would say, obviously, different because there's not as many teams, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. I'm not sure I particularly agree fully on that.
Shock.
I would say that it hasn't been a massive step change in Scottish football. It's, similar teams, but everyone can compete in the Premiership, and that's the real point there. Derek Adams obviously chose to leave Morecambe to come back to Ross County. So I feel like he kind of knew what he was getting into.
Different styles, we've said that. Defensive, more long ball, shit pitches.
Plastic pitches.
All the grass ones are shit, is what I meant.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That means you can side with me on not getting rid of the plastic ones then.
Don't really care. Don't play in them. So.
The response we had, so David Martindale in his press conference on Monday, so today, said that one solution to that was expanding the Premiership. Which my reaction was, of course you suggest that, David Martindale, because you are 7 points adrift at the bottom of the league. Of course you want a bigger Premiership.
I would say, David, check out our episode where we expanded the Premier League Football Manager.
I was going to say, I think he's already seen it. That'll be why.
He has. But I think he's right. Like, you look at the Championship again, so there's, in the Premiership, if you get rid of the top, even beyond Rangers and Celtic, right, there is a bigger gap between Hearts in 3rd and Celtic in 1st than there is between Hearts in 3rd and Livingston in 12th. It's very close.
I was going to say, you can say that for all the leagues. They're all quite competitive.
Yeah, the Championship's the same. The Championship, like I looked, right, and Morton were, when they sat down Gemery, Morton were bottom. And I just assumed for the past few weeks they're bottom. They've won 3 in a row and they're now 5th.
Arbroath are bottom, who aren't far off.
Queen's Park are bottom.
Really, I thought it was Arbroath, sorry.
I was going to say, oh, it was Prince Park.
Yeah, there are now 4 points separating the bottom 6 teams in the championship.
League One's the same, bar the top 2, it's kind of very close.
Yeah, you could easily make a case for at least putting 2 more teams in the Premiership. Never mind 4. I reckon there's a good case for 4, but at least expanding it to 14. You know, Wraith Rovers and Dundee United would not look out of place in the Premiership this year. Wraith, of course, with that fantastic win at the weekend at Tannadice to take them 5 points clear at the top of the Championship. Dundee United with a game in hand, but it's good to see that Wraith might make a wee challenge to go up. It would be nice to see.
That's what I was going to say.
Park.
We talked about Aston Villa last week, kind of slipping under the radar, but I think Wraith have done the same.
They have.
I've seen they've been winning, but I didn't realise quite to that magnitude.
I knew it was close. I thought it would come back down to playing Dundee United at Tannadice, and honestly, I thought they'd get absolutely smashed. But to go there and win and be 5 points clear is fantastic for Wraith. It's fantastic for the league.
It's always good to see a different team going up.
Yeah,
I feel
it would be nice.
anyway.
I still think Dundee United will go up, but it would be nice to see Wraith get there.
They'll probably, if they don't go up automatically, they'll go up the playoffs.
You think?
Just 11th, though.
Yeah, I think it depends on who finishes 11th. The other thing with the playoffs, as I've said before, is you've got to play so many games. I think it's difficult.
Partick Thistle Boyne fell short last season.
That was right, because they played 8 games in 6 days.
In the last however many minutes they messed up.
Yeah, and the Scottish champ, Derek Adams could be moaning more about Ross County, because had that gone differently, they would have been in the championship.
I know.
And you mentioned this already, Robert, but to move on a bit, England, the title race, if it wasn't blown open before in the Premier League, it's been blown open even more, thanks to Liverpool and Manchester City both only getting a solitary point at the weekend.
Not good enough.
I saw the Liverpool Man United game, and it wasn't particularly a good watch. I was quite bored.
Yes, Derek Adams, do you want to watch that game and come back to us? And that game was dreary. Manchester United. There's lots of people saying it didn't set up to try and win the game at Anfield. I would respond with, of course not.
Why would they?
There's no point trying to win a game against Liverpool now, because as soon as you go ahead, Liverpool score about 4. Liverpool always seem to be able to win games if they go behind at the minute. They've won like 18 points from losing positions.
I just think of Winston with a dog, and I've just angered it. No, it's fair. It was a pretty rubbish game, to be honest.
Arsenal won, so they're sitting top.
Yes, Arsenal top. Man City, of course, also dropping points at the Etihad, which is rare. Roy Hodgson masterclass that was.
Didn't look too convincing from what I could see.
Man City were winning comfortably, conceded a sloppy goal, and then 95th minute Phil Foden had an absolute brain fade and conceded a penalty.
Should be he's an attacker, should be defending. Unless he can do his day, but he doesn't. So
he clearly didn't.
Evidently.
Tackle is just a big bloater.
Yeah, we spoke about Villa last week. They're still there. They're one of the teams that won.
They were losing.
They beat Brentford, yeah.
Yeah,
nearly 2-0, but VAR saved their bacon.
There was a bit of a hoo-ha, was there not? Was it Ollie Watkins scored? He said some member of the crowd was giving him a bit of grief the whole game, some rather personal taunts and such, and he celebrated in the goal in front of them, and then I think the Brentford fans took it a bit personally. Obviously, being an ex-player.
I'm on the side of the fan there. You never celebrate against your old club as a player. It's a bit disrespectful.
He's getting pelters though.
Yeah, but that's one person. Respect the rest of the old, club, no?
So he's being a bit of a dweeb then.
One person shouldn't,
No, well, two sending offs in that game as well.
There were.
In the 71st minute, and then Kamara getting sent off in the 97th.
I enjoyed the sending off in the Manchester United game as well. I thought that was a great bit of a laugh.
Throw-in, that was all it was. It was just a throw-in.
It was just a throw-in. Just drop it, mate.
Michael Oliver, what's he like?
Michael Oliver's got form. Michael Oliver's the one. Was it Nani he sent off for like touching him a few years ago. It was an FA Cup tie.
It's not.
Was it
No.
Nani?
No, Nani was away. It was. They come in the game.
I was going to say, I think Nani was a bit before his time, but I could be quite wrong.
I don't know. I don't want to start
I
guessing.
can't remember, but Michael Oliver has form with that kind of thing. And, I said this at the time. And one, it made no impact on the outcome of the game, which makes it even funnier because it was in added time at the very end. And, just what are you doing, Dalo? Just don't do it.
They
I
can't
don't care whether you don't like the rule or not. It's fundamentally stupid to get booked for it and then do the exact same thing again.
They can't appeal it, can they? Because it's 2 bookings.
Nope.
So there's defensive light and they've got a defender sent off.
But they're also not going to book. They also would just get the appeal rejected because they were told at the start of the season of this obvious acts of dissent will get punished for the yellow card. It's been consistently applied.
Well,
What more do they want? Just don't be an idiot.
It'll be a wee guy.
Well,
yeah, you were winning. You were getting a point. That was basically a win for Manchester United because what we're expecting them to lose 7-0 again.
So was I. Region.
I mean, I've seen their midfield. I've seen Mainu, McTominay, and a Rambat in that midfield at the start of the game, and I thought, okay, this has got a couple of Liverpool goals written all over it, and it just didn't happen.
Exhaust the captain, sure.
Yes.
fun man.
Don't know what I like.
Well, one week more conversation before we move on to the game, and it is about a team that Greg
loves.
Could give a bit of an update on. Do you want to? I don't want to say his name. You shall not be named. Nah, I'm joking.
You shall not be named. John Joe Selvey has been appointed Sunderland manager, and
Ian, big Ian.
Ian's brother.
Yes.
Michael.
Ian's brother Michael Beale has been appointed manager at Sunderland. I don't know if people have seen the responses on Twitter to some of that. Some of them are, my thoughts are with all you Sunderland supporters who are going to read it. Rangers fans seem to have great fun with Twitter on this. I'm so sorry to hear that. By not letting him charge of recruitment, nor bringing the coaching staff, his own coaching staff, and you're already doing a better job than Rangers did. Someone's put a picture of Sam Lammers in saying, please don't sign our best player.
I'll pay for that taxi down.
Yeah.
Lammers.
He didn't do very badly briefly at QPR. He did all right at QPR.
I think he was starting to come. There was the picture was becoming a bit more clear of what was maybe going to happen, and then he got the Rangers job. Let's be honest. In terms of his career, he was like, he was going to be like, well, I'm going to jump into this bigger job, I would say. But obviously, we all saw how that turned out at Rangers.
Yes, and then there's also the fact that. Sorry, I've just seen a tweet from Villa Watch, which has got me raging, but we'll park that for a minute. They've considered on the biggest club in the northeast, which can just go away. But they've done exactly what they wanted people to do there, which is bite and a bitten. Beale also obviously had the chance and didn't.
You went a bit quiet there.
Yeah, speak up.
Beale also had the chance to go to Wolves and turned that opportunity down.
He's not that good.
For the joy of all the Wolves fans, now realising that they managed to avoid that.
And that Gary O'Neill's actually a good manager.
I was going to say they were supposed to get Will Still, but they bottled that in.
Yeah.
The boy
is it Roms?
Yeah, I like the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. The boy who every time they play a game, they have to pay a fine. He doesn't have his coaching badges. Well, get him his bloody coaching badges sorted then.
Well, he plays football manager.
Yeah, I know, but he can speak fluent French.
Bloody Bill Still.
That's why he can't go to Sunderland.
They don't even speak English.
Yeah. Well, no, Sunderland can't. Well, still can't. Sunderland can't. It will be entertaining to watch because obviously Newcastle visit the Stadium of Light in a couple of weeks' time in the FA Cup third round. It'll be interesting to watch Eddie Howe's boys versus Michael Beale's lads. Hopefully, a nice wee win at the Stadium of Light would be fantastic. It's Newcastle, who have a really long injury list, and it's Newcastle in the FA Cup third round. So if you want to put money on Sunderland, I probably would. We got beat by was it Sheffield Wednesday who knocked Newcastle out last year? Newcastle's
yeah.
record and getting past the third round is absolutely shocking.
Well, we'll see if that continues. But let's move on. It's time for the game. Hello again. Obviously, as you saw last week, well, not many of you saw it because the views were a bit poor. I wanted the views up. I asked for more views. I'm not asking now. I'm telling
you. Your
you.
grannies.
No, I'm not saying that. We're getting told off. So
Well, we used it for about 7 episodes straight. Right, I'm not asking this time. I'm telling you, it's getting watched again. But yeah, I lost, so it's my turn back on the Z game. I'm bringing back the transfer game because I've not done that in a wee while. So I thought, you know what, screw it. Right. I'll give you a wee rundown if you're new to this. 5 points. Points correlate to the information given. 5 points if you get the year and the fee of the transfer. 4 points for the position. 3 points for the nationality. 2 points for the team they left, and 1 point for the team they joined. Straightforward enough. We all know how it works, but
you might not if you're new.
Yeah. So I'm really inclusive. Right.
I'm not.
First one. 2011, 35 million.
I had first. Is this active players or is it a variation?
Variation.
Cool.
I thought I'd said that. Apologies. I think I said earlier on when you weren't in the call. It's a variation. Sorry, I'll do that again. For 5 points. 2011, 35 million.
Esco.
No.
Sergio Aguero.
No. 2011, 35 million for an attacker.
Mario Balotelli.
No.
David Silva.
No.
If he's
2011.
an attacker, I'm going to kick up shit.
35 million for an attacker from England.
Andrew Carroll.
Oh, yeah, he did. Right. Hey.
I thought it was 35.
That's what he said.
I thought it was 33. Sorry.
Well done, Greg. I just didn't expect you to say it. What's that?
You don't expect me to get one right. That's 3 points.
I think you'll see the shock on my face when I realised. See, I'm just that used to go no until the end.
I don't know if anyone can see me doing my wee party thing on Zoom.
Nobody cares.
Well done. 3 points to Greg. Right. Oh, the point of that was Andy Christmas Carol. Haha.
Oh, they better not all be Christmas themed.
Right. Moving on.
They're all Christmas themed.
5 points. 2-9. 21.2 million.
Rocky Santa Cruz.
5 points. Well done.
Oh, for God's sake. That's if I'm leaving. They can't all be Christmas themed, surely.
Right, are you ready?
They're all Christmas themed. I've got no chance. Right, Kyle, on you go.
2001, 16 million.
2001. Zinedine Zidane.
No.
Who else was in our Christmas team from last year?
Yeah, I've gave up, I think.
Ashley, you're getting some coal because you've been a bad boy.
No.
29.
2001, 16 million for a midfielder.
Frank Lampard.
Joel.
Frankincense Lampard is correct.
For God's sake. 2 minutes while I check Discord for the Christmas team from last year.
I'll be cheating and I'll win.
You're going to win anyway.
Right. 2012, a loan deal.
Oh, that's helpful.
I know.
Winston Reid.
No.
What football? Any footballer whose first name is Rudolph.
No. 2012, a loan for an attacker.
2012. I don't know. Joelinton.
No.
He was barely born. Lewis Miley. He was definitely barely born.
No. 2012, a loan for an attacker from Denmark.
Nicholas Bentner.
Correct. St. Nicholas.
Oh, for God's sake.
Poland.
You made a big deal about being a bit Christmas related. If you hadn't said that, you might not have realised. To be fair, I'll keep reading them out. Yes, St. Nicholas Bentner.
I spent too long trying to work out what the Christmas connection was to realise it was shit instead of thinking about Danish attackers.
Well, I'm sorry, you got to play the game.
You've got to do better at making the questions.
This has been brilliant.
I've enjoyed it.
I would suggest
last one for fun. 2015, 15 million.
2015. Jesus Navas.
Gabriel Jesus.
No, neither. 2015, 15 million for an attacker.
2015. Negredo.
Great. No.
Alvaro Negredo.
No.
Roberto Soldado. I can't think of a Christmas correction.
No. 2015, 15 million, an attacker from France.
Excuse me, Giroud.
Maybe a midfielder, I don't know. I would say a more attacker.
Oh, we can't be going back to this now.
I've won anyway, makes no odds.
Yeah, Hatem Ben Arfa.
No. 2015, 15 million attacker from France left Marseille.
This is a doozy. Lacazette.
No, maybe a midfielder, an attacking midfielder. I was not as an attacker. Maybe
What did Wikipedia? What did transfer mark to Wikipedia say?
I can't remember now. I was rushing it. Right. 2015, 15 million attacker France left Marseille to join West Ham.
Right.
Dimitri Mince-Payet.
Oh, for God's sake!
And that concludes this game.
Should we clarify? He's probably winger if we're doing this by traditional transfer game.
I would have said.
Definition. I would have said winger for 100%.
I would have said attacking midfielder.
Played out wide for most people, no?
It's even more number 10.
I don't know. Is it? Oh well, there you go. That's the game then.
I got 1 point.
You did. No, you got 3. You started off well.
As soon as he said Rocky Santa Cruz, I gave up.
I think that's our second 5-pointer.
That one does it properly. You told him it was Christmas connections.
You did.
I never told you it was. I never told him it was Christmas connections. You went off on one.
Is it Christmas connections?
All I said was Andy Christmas Carol.
Political connections.
I don't.
It's not as good as Lon Shanklin, but I'll give you it.
Could have been Paul Morrison. Could have been Rudolf Scatchel.
Oh, for God's sake!
In 2009.
No, just in general. I meant the other political connections could have been.
I just wanted to bring back Frankenstein's Lampard. That was my favourite last year.
Not as funny. Not as funny this year.
Baby Jesus Navas.
No, because I did Jesus Navas in a normal game of the transfer game, so I was like, I can't have that one.
Anyway, something I'm actually good at, the predictions. Talking of something I'm actually good at, yeah. I managed to get 4 points last week. Notably, Robert picked 4 Scottish League games, that being Celtic Hearts, Dunfermline Partick, Hamilton Falkirk and Elgin Spartans. They were all away wins. I managed to get 2 of those correct. I managed to get Falkirk beating Hamilton correct and Spartans beating Elgin correct. Everyone else managed to get Spartans beating Elgin too. Robert also got a point for saying that Partick would beat Dunfermline, and Robert and me both got points for saying that Rangers would beat Aberdeen in normal time. This week it's Kyle's pick for the games. Actually, I've not read out the total scores yet. Total scores, with Kyle getting 1 point last week, is Kyle on 41, Robert on 46, and I am up there on 50. If anyone wants to check my admin, please do, but it's perfect. Just to make sure there's no allegations of corruption.
Watch now.
Kyle's turn for the game. Kyle's turn for the predictions this week. First game is Ross County v Hibs. County's lost to Dundee, sees them in 9th, 1 point ahead of 11th place at Motherwell. Hibs are 6 points ahead of them in 6th, but they lost away in Perth. We mentioned this earlier. I think these are really hard to predict, any Scottish Premiership game, but I am going to go for the Highbees.
I'm feeling a draw.
I too think the Highbees.
Oh no, Kyle's picked the same as me. That's not good. Championship, Airdrie versus Morton. 3rd win in a row sees Morton go up to 5th. They've overtaken Airdrie, who have lost 3 in a row and now sit 7th. Morton are as many points as away from they are at the bottom as they are at Dunfermline in 4th. I think I mentioned that earlier.
I think Morton are going to continue their good run of form.
I agree.
Times 3.
Into League One, Stirling versus Queen of the South. We are going to this. Keep an eye on the socials. We've said that already. Stirling have got 4 points in the last 2 games against Edinburgh and Annan, which sees them halt their slide of losses. They are 1 point behind Queens and have a game in hand. Queens, however, have won 2 in a row.
Well, I think you know my answer, but I'm going to say it anyway. Queen of the South.
Draw.
Okay, let's go for a draw. I am too going for the Queen of the South in a rare show of loyalty, because I think that's where the best chance of winning a point is this week. That could be bad. Scottish League 2 Spartans versus Shinrar. Spartans won 4-0 at Elgin in our predictions game last week. For a second win on the bounce, they're 1 place and 7 points behind Shinrar, who are unbeaten in 3 but have the worst defence in the league. I'm going for a home win.
Yeah, I'm going Spartans as well.
Gladiators.
Heard they're getting a reboot on the BBC, the Gladiators. I hope the Wolfman's coming back, though. He's probably getting his pension these days.
Oh, did.
He can't be Dee Dee's the Wolfman.
For our younger listeners, it's an old television programme.
Surely everyone knows what Gladiators is. Northern Irish Premier League, Dungannon Smiths versus Glentoran. 4th versus 10th, but Glentoran are unbeaten in 3. Dungannon won at the weekend to stop the slide after losing 2 in a row. I should say 10th versus 4th. It's Glentoran who are 4th. And that's who I'm going for. I'm going for Glentoran.
Yes, Glentoran also.
Toran boys.
What was that?
Toran boys.
Ow. Thank you for deafness. Last game's in La Liga. It's Atletico Madrid against Sevilla. Atleti remain 4th, but have played a game less than Barca, who are 1 point above them. They've only drawn 1 game in the league so far. Sevilla are out of the relegation zone only just. They have 1 game in hand on those above them, but haven't won in 10 games.
Griezmann's guys. There you go. Got one in before you.
Atletico Madrid for me. Yeah, Griezmann's back there now, isn't he?
All Blacks old men.
Yeah, mine was definitely better. But yeah.
Lovely. That's the end of predictions for this week.
Thanks, Greg. FPL update.
He's not even ready.
I know, I'll do it if he's ready. I've got it
No,
up.
I was having a drink. Calm down.
Okay.
Take your time.
I know where I am anyway.
Give me Jip.
I know where I am, I check.
Number 1 is
What a sad little life, James.
as usual, Darren Whitfield. Well done. 3rd place is Jack Hughes. And 6th place is myself. And 17th is Robert. So well done, everyone.
Yeah.
We are number 2. We are number 2.
I didn't read it 2nd place, doesn't count.
Shout out to our good friend Kyle Pagan, who after being top for however many weeks, is now not is getting his name mentioned by me as an addendum. He's now 4th.
I'm calling for him. He's my
Give it next week. Give it next week.
Darren Whitfield, I'm coming for you.
Can take us on the mirror.
Quick fun off him.
Who's this sexy person in the mirror?
Me, must be me you're pointing at.
Is it me you're looking for? Right. I think we better go. We've done delirious.
Yeah, on that note, I was going to say thank you very much for tuning in. Due to when this is coming out, we hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas from all of us at 3 Pints and a Clean Sheet. So, enjoy that. Keep your eyes out on the socials on Saturday for your pre-Christmas treat.
Q&A, hopefully. So,
yeah, have a nice Christmas. We'll see you afterwards, but keep your eyes peeled on anything that's coming out. Bye. Oh, that's amazing.
Gets to the byline. Dexter's is there, so too. Tavernier! James Tavernier! With the big moment for Rangers!